Slavery does not always come with iron shackles. Sometimes the most dangerous slavery is the one we don't even recognize as slavery. The Israelites in Egypt were not locked in dungeons. They had homes, families, and work. And yet, they were slaves. Today, we may not serve Pharaoh with bricks and mortar, but we still feel the weight of his demands, his endless expectations, his system of toil that never truly sets us free. We build for him every day, believing we are independent. But are we? Or are we trapped in our own Egypt, in self-made prisons that feel too comfortable to leave? The Torah tells us that the Egyptians made the children of Israel serve with harsh labor, making their lives bitter with mortar and bricks. The Midrash explains that Pharaoh didn't enslave them all at once. At first, he worked alongside them, making it seem voluntary. Slowly, it became expected. Then, it became mandatory. Finally, it was inescapable. Pharaoh's genius was psychological. He convinced them that the labor was their purpose. We see the same thing today. We pour ourselves into careers, possessions, status, and endless productivity. We're not dragged there in chains. We go willingly because we believe we must. The Talmud says the only truly free person engages in the study of Torah, because freedom isn't the absence of oppression. It's the ability to live in alignment with truth, instead of being ruled by desire, fear, or the expectations of others. There's a story in the Talmud about a wealthy man who hoarded his riches for the future, only to die having never truly lived. The Israelites built great cities in Egypt, but none of them belonged to them. They spent their lives building for a system that would never give them freedom. We do the same, working endless hours to pay for a house that ties us to debt, saving for a future we're too exhausted to enjoy, climbing ladders that have no top. Pharaoh isn't just a figure from the past. He's a force that still operates. He is the Pharaoh of workaholism, who convinces you that your worth is your productivity. The Pharaoh of materialism, who whispers that more will finally make you happy. The Pharaoh of fear, who tells you it's safer to stay where you are, even if it's killing your spirit. Not all Israelites left Egypt. Some chose to stay. They preferred the comfort of slavery over the uncertainty of freedom. The Talmud tells of the Hebrew slave who refuses to be freed after 6 years, choosing bondage over the unknown. Many of us do the same, staying in jobs, relationships, or routines that diminish us simply because they're familiar. Only 20% of the Israelites left Egypt. The rest couldn't imagine a life beyond Pharaoh's control. So, how do we break free? First, we have to recognize the illusion. Pharaoh convinces us that stress equals success, that endless work equals meaning. But real meaning comes when our lives are built for Hashem, not for Pharaoh's system. Second, we must decide what matters most. If Pharaoh no longer controlled our schedule, what would we build? Torah, family, community. Third, we must put our trust in Hashem, rather than in Pharaoh's promises. Fear will always try to chain. Asit will whisper, "What if you fail?" or "What if you lose everything?" But Hashem says, "I am your provider. Trust me." The Baal Shem Tov taught that Egypt means limitation and constriction. Every person has their own Egypt, something that confines them. Leaving it means stepping into uncertainty, but also into freedom. Moshe grew up in Pharaoh's palace and could have lived surrounded by wealth and privilege. But he saw through the illusion. He knew that true kingship isn't ruling over others, it's serving Hashem. We stand at that same crossroads. We can keep building for Pharaoh, endlessly producing, endlessly proving, enslaved. Or we can walk into the wilderness, trusting Hashem to guide us to something greater. The truth is, Pharaoh's chains are still here. They may not clank, and they may be made of gold, but they are chains all the same. May we have the courage to see them for what they are, the strength to break them, and the faith to walk into the unknown so we can discover what true freedom really feels like.